I'm Lou Rosalia, and this is the AI Cockroach Show. Get ready.
Am I the only one that didn't know cockroaches could be epic? Buckle up, because this AI cockroach is about to take you on a wild ride through time. Imagine stepping out of a prehistoric mud puddle and walking through the ages. The AI cockroach has done just that, from lush jungles to ancient caves, from straw huts to log cabins, and from bustling city streets to the futuristic space age. This little survivor has seen it all. With a blend of humor and resilience, the AI cockroach teaches us that adaptability is key. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving no matter what life throws at you. So whether you're facing the challenges of today or the unknowns of tomorrow, channel your inner AI cockroach. Embrace change, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Survive the future, one tiny step at a time.
I'm pumped today. I'm pumped every day. I love this show because it changes as quick as cockroaches scurry and survive. And today we've got a story and a special guest, Mike Musselman, who took a journey from trumpet to trace, and we'll explain what that means during our little interview. With me, as usual, is Joe Scacciaferro. Joe, welcome. Mike, welcome. Good to have you guys here.
Thanks, Lou.
And with that, Joe, start us off.
I'm going to make it real easy for Mike. Any of the questions you want to know about his entire life, go look at our On Location that me and Mike did a couple of weeks ago. It goes through the entire length of it. But in that, and along with me coming to know Mike, they're working, Fletcher is pushing, like everybody else, into this AI world. And they've got some very interesting use presently, and then they're moving forward into some other things. Plus, I'd like to get Mike's take on the AI into the entertainment industry and how that's all going to go. So, Mike, let's kick us off. For anybody who's lazy and didn't go look at On Location, let's talk about your role at Fletcher and then the sub role with Trace.
All right, before that, make sure you explain what Fletcher is to the pedestrians like me.
Sure thing.
Go look at On Location.
Well, you need a little bit of context.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. So Fletcher is a specialty camera and robotics company that works in the broadcast industry, mostly in sports. So our main tagline is sports from a different perspective. So anything that's remotely operated, think like above the rim cameras for basketball, in goal cameras for hockey, any sport that you can think of, we've got some sort of specialty camera involved in that sport. And for me personally, I work in the engineering department at Fletcher, and one of the main products that I support is something that we developed in-house called Trace. So Trace is a camera tracking software that we use on tennis, and basically what it allows you to do is you can cover an entire match with 4 cameras with only one operator, and some of the cameras can be moving completely automated on their own, and then the operator has the ability to take manual control of any of the cameras for additional shots, artistic, crowd, whatever else they want to do, and the other cameras will move on their own. And as Joe mentioned, we are using AI with this technology now to enhance what we're doing with our tracking. So that's like a very sort of broad. I don't know how deep into the weeds like we're going with the technical. I think that's probably
Lou,
good.
Before you, I could see you taking that breath because you're getting ready to speak. So I'm gonna cut you off.
No. I'm so excited. I have so many questions. I'm thinking, is Trace an acronym? Should I even ask him? Is Trace stand for something?
Go look at On Location.
I know.
So yes, it does, but like only in the sense that we kind of forced an acronym in there because we like the name Trace, and it's got ACE in there as well because it was originally designed for tennis. But what Trace stands for is the Total Real-Time Automated Camera Engine.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and they killed me trying to put that into a lower third of the other show.
It's
That's
it's
a
one of
good
those,
one.
like, when Congress introduces a bill and then they try to like reverse engineer a catchy name for it. That's kind of what we did with Trace.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Lou, before you start, because
yeah.
again, trying to keep all of our diverse audience on board, you will see, you might not see the Fletcher logo on every major, not just sporting events, but every major event. They do a lot of concerts. Their cameras are everywhere. Their technology is everywhere. What you will see is the result of their genius. And I've been in this industry a long time. And I'll sit back and I'll be watching something, not knowing that they're doing it. And all of a sudden I'll look at a shot and go, how in the F did they just pull that off? Like, where's that handle? They can't have somebody in that position hanging from the rafters being able to pull a 4K shot on a field. So again, you see the results of their genius. And now we're going to get to hear from some of that genius. So go ahead, Lou. I'm sorry.
Uh, yeah, I mean, every shot that you see or that I see in sports, because you know what a huge sports fan I am. I'm not gonna try and impress anyone with statistics and all that. But I always question, like you said, Joe, from the pedestrian end, like how the hell did they get that shot? Like who's behind that glass backboard shooting the basketball going into the net? Or who's under the grass on the green at the US Open and the golf ball's rolling by them? I said, I don't even understand that. How does it work? What role what role does AI play in all that?
Well, a lot of it, some of the things you mentioned just about unique angles is just engineering ways to mount things and get things into certain areas. Where AI plays a role for us really is more with automated camera technology. At least for Fletcher, I think within the broadcast industry, you're seeing AI being used in lots of different ways, and so it can get used to gather data more efficiently for stats and graphics and things like that to help inform the viewer about what's going on. Um, we've even seen types of like generative AI, where as opposed to it like analyzing something, it's actually creating content. Where I think it was 2 years ago, Wimbledon was the first time they had AI commentary on a match. Not that it could comment throughout the whole thing, but it was like on highlight clips. It would feed it into this generative AI uh, program, and then it would create commentary based on the highlights that it was showing. And so that's another way. For us at Fletcher, we're concerned about identifying like who is the player, the tennis player, or we want to expand into other sports. Let's say golfer would be another good example. Who is the person that we're interested in, and then can we follow that person with a camera automatically? And so
Mm.
that's where we fit into the whole AI puzzle.
Well, I'm trying to go back now. You mentioned something that triggered me, so I'm just going to forget that for a minute. When you were talking about generating, how old is AI? That's really I was going to get into a long question, but I'm just going to go because you just said a few years ago, and everybody thinks AI started like in 2024.
Right. So I think when like probably ChatGPT came out and it became a consumer product that you could go onto a website and just tell it, hey, you know, write me a book about this, or you could go on, I can't think of any of the names of the site, but like paint me a picture in the style of Picasso of, my cousin or something, and it will do it.
Right.
Uh, that is when I think it really got into the mind of the mainstream. But AI has been around for much longer than that, and there's a lot of types of AI that are more specific tools uh, that don't require as much intelligence, but it can do one particular thing really well. So like you think about like facial recognition, like that's a type of artificial intelligence. We know that's been around for quite a long time, and it's getting common enough now that you see it when you go through the airport. You don't have to scan your boarding pass and do your ID. You just, they scans your face and it's like, oh, you're good to go. It knows who you are. So that's come a long way. But things like in the manufacturing industry, using computer vision to analyze to make sure like all the bolts got tightened down, like they didn't miss any, like little simple, like single task AI type things have been around for quite a bit longer. And I don't want to put a specific timeline on it because I'm not sure of that timeline. And it probably even longer if you look at like military's always had technology for longer than we have. So
yeah. And then even if you want to put it into a practical neighborhood, you can go back to the turn of the century with Italian ladies out the window recognizing whose faces belong in the neighborhood or not.
yeah. I mean, it's an extension of that, really.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, talk a little bit more with Mike and Joe, and get a little bit deeper into some of the specifics on how you innovate and some of the things Fletcher's doing to innovate with AI. Listen to me, with AI. We'll be right back.
We get you in.
This stuff makes sense and works.
Vero TV gets you inside the industry with pros who are already in.
I just love my job. I love what I do.
Vero TV isn't your usual boring industry panel lecture.
You're responsible as the operator for linking every function, every button.
Jump up on this garbage can to get height so you can see everything.
It's pros who love what they do and are at the top of their game.
You trust each other to get the job done.
I often say, just do the best with what you got.
What's life under the stage like?
It sucks.
They laugh and you'll laugh. They explain and you'll learn.
This statement will open a world of opportunities for you.
They curse and you may cover your ears.
Sorry, can I see that?
Get in with Vero TV today.
So much to talk about. One of the things in the last segment that caught my ear, Mike, was you were talking about the specificity, like AI being broad, chat GPT, put in something general public can do and paint the picture or whatever. How do you guys come up with something more specific to do that thing that you said does one little thing extremely well? Like, how does that happen? Do you follow schematics? Do you follow a need? Is it just something you guys imagine and say, oh, let's try and create this? How does that go down?
So you almost have to think about it. You have to dissect the way your brain would do something. So if you're trying to follow, a golfer on the green, let's say, and you're just a camera operator, it's like, okay, how do I know which person it is? How do I frame up that shot? How tight or how loose? Do I want to keep the ball in frame? Am I just following the player? Am I following the player and then widening out as he putts the ball and all the way to the hole? And so you have to think through every step that you go through in your brain. And then you have to program a specific AI module to do that task. And so what you can kind of do instinctively to say, okay, yeah, this is what I do. This is how I frame my shot. You may have 3 different AI instances happening to achieve that same sort of a thing. And so you're saying you're running a model that is going to identify all of the golfers on the green. And then you may have a separate model that is going to give them identifiers, let's say, so if there's 4 golfers in a foursome on the green, it's going to make them, okay, you're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3, you're number 4. And then which one, so you could either have that manually selected, okay, I want you to follow golfer number 1, or if you wanted it to be even more intelligent, you could have another instance of AI that's doing what's called event detection. So if somebody's walking up to their ball to putt, then the AI of that is saying, oh, okay, this is our guy we're focused on. He's going to hit next, so I'm going to track this guy. And then You may also need a model that recognizes where the ball is so that you can then follow the ball into the hole. And so you kind of dissect it step by step by step, each of these little things. And then you have to make sure that they integrate well to get the kind of motion that you want.
I have a couple of questions.
Crazy.
So what you described to me is a director and a camera operator. That's how I interpret that from how we do things. Because the director's going to determine, you know what, give me a tight shot on him and then follow the ball, post the play, and then you take it from there. Then the camera op has to then interpret that and say, okay, he wants this shot. What do I need to do? I need to pull a focus. I need to pull framing. I need to do all that. And then I have to pan. And as I'm panning, I need to push. And that's going through the camera op's brain as that's all happening. So AI has to think multiply with these different disciplines and be able to do that. So that's the first question. Am I correct with that?
Yes.
Okay. So with that in play, you're not giving it an instruction set as we would think about execution in a typical old world software program. Do this, if that, do this, if that, it follows a logic flow of software, which is just executable. From what you're describing and from what I know of AI, it learns, which is key to AI, is it learns, okay, you like that? Okay, I'm going to give you more of that. Okay, I'm going to do this more. It all pulls from a database, correct?
So just as a point of clarification, there's kind of two different types. So you can program it to do what you're describing, and that's what's called active learning,
right?
Where that's always being updated and fed, but you have to then put parameters in or have some sort of observing of, if you're making adjustments, let's say, manually, and then it's looking back at it and saying, okay, then I do this differently. The AI doesn't necessarily have to do that. It can be sort of a set of instructions where when it sees this event happening, it does this, or if it sees this target, it does this. So that kind of, it depends on how much and how many layers you want to put into that, and how much resource computer wise you're putting towards that happening, and that can fall into how much time you have in terms of doing that programming, like what the client specifically wants, because in the world of broadcast and in these types of things I'm describing, so if we stick with the follow a golfer on the green as a potential example, whatever network that would hire you to do that is probably using that for streaming, things like that, because AI is not it's hard to get it to a point where it's ever going to be as good as that human operator that's making a decision and that can maybe completely change what they're doing if the director wants to make a change. And so normally for us, it's going to be something that's a little bit more basic, and we have that discussion with the client of, okay, what would you like it to do? And we know that there's going to be some compromises within that coverage, and so it's going to always kind of do the same thing, or maybe you can put it into two different modes where it just stays with the golfer, and then in mode 2, okay, it's going to follow the ball into the cup, that sort of thing. The active learning is like a whole nother level of information gathering and retraining that has to go into place. And that's something that we are just starting to learn about, but we haven't really implemented on any projects we're doing right now.
How big are the systems, the intelligence systems that you're presently using? And are they on site or are they remote? And I'm talking about your computers, I'm talking about your CPUs, I'm talking about whatever's actually thinking its way through the software?
Yeah, so our computers are housed on site typically. They are like a rack unit, so 19 inches wide and 4 rack units tall, so about yay big. And it's basically just like a really kick-ass computer that's got all of the inputs and outputs we need, and a really good graphics card, because the graphics card is what's your sort of the brains of your AI. That's where all the processing power is needed for doing that type of thing.
Explain that. Explain, because you say graphics to me, I'm probably thinking of something else.
So like a graphics card, like if you were like a video game, if you like to play computer games, let's say, you would need a really fast graphics card installed in your computer so your video doesn't lag. So it's the same graphics cards that they would use for that type of a thing is what we're using, because what we're doing is we're processing images very quickly. So it's the same sort of thing.
It's the reverse. You're taking the power of that graphic card is inputting the images. Because you're not outputting right. So that's where that difference lies. So it's the same processing power. The engines are the same, except you're using it in verbiage.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm done. See you. Bye.
We're going to take a break in a minute, but I have a question driven from what Mikey just explained. Do you think in any given time soon, I don't know if anything can happen that you guys are actually working on this or not, but you spoke about Wimbledon and you spoke about an AI voice making a little bit of commentary. Then you spoke about generative learning. And then we spoke about data. And Joe, we did a show 2 or 3 shows ago about Lionsgate and Runway.
Right.
So Lionsgate, the film, and Runway, the AI company. Runway turned its focus on Lionsgate and looked through their entire film library and pulled out awesome stuff. Do you think that with Fletcher, you guys might someday have the ability to have all this stuff input, your gear and equipment, look at a golf putt shot and say, oh, that's golfer XYZ. Then they go into the library of all the stuff you guys ever shot and said via an AI voice that, oh, golfer blah, blah, blah has a 63% chance of making this shot. That would be a cool thing, right? Like a football statistician without having all those people, Joe, at the NFL running the numbers. It just comes up from all the film. Is that am I way off on that, or is that something that could be someday?
I don't think we're that close yet. But if you're thinking about what is possible within AI, it is certainly within the realm of possibility in the next 10 to 15 years that all of that could synthesize together, because a lot of those individual elements are present in AI, some of them more in their infancy than others. And that would be a great thing for all of the streaming content that's becoming more and more prevalent with, all the different sports networks are trying to have streaming and never miss a putt. And, ESPN Plus has got all this extra sports you can watch, without being on their main networks. That would be a great tool for that type of thing. I don't know if it will ever get to a point where you're going to take everyone's jobs away. And I don't think we would want to do that, because there's certain expertise that announcers have about a sport or about particular athletes that you're not going to get just from like an AI generating that content. The other thing you have to be aware of, especially now, is with generative content, you need to kind of moderate it, because sometimes it's wrong, and that's part of the whole learning process. Same as if you go on ChatGPT and you ask it a question, sometimes it will be incorrect, or sometimes it might do something you really don't want. When they first got it, was it a Twitter account or X? It's called now. It very quickly devolved into the Twitter troll sort of sphere and saying things that would not be representative of what you would want, you know, we would want as Fletcher or any other company, them commenting on whatever. So,
Yeah, completely understood. I did something yesterday, and then we'll go for our break, and put in the prompt, and the whole thing came back in Spanish. Okay, I'll take it. I didn't even have the heart to say, please translate this. Let's take a minute and hear from our sponsor, Faro City. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about storytelling, and also what you spoke about with the streaming services and how important that is in the future of AI. We'll be right back.
Listen, here's your shot, which is what you need. It's available if you're interested. You can start right now, or you can wait years looking to get in, get skills, or miraculously get ahead. Sure, you can do the waiting thing too, but you absolutely can start and join us today.
I'm back. We're back. Great conversation. This can go on for hours, but I wanted to spend a minute.
And I'm going to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So I'm sitting on this, and I'm representing the creative world right now, and the creative world's voice, because you can teach whatever to operate a camera as you could anybody, or you could teach anybody to operate an audio console as you can teach anybody. But there's gonna be stars, and those stars come with style, and those styles become popular because they do something. So that's a director, whether it's a theater director or a TV director or a film director. The same with all of the utilities that move on out from that center thing. There's style. And that's the part in the creative world that I try to counsel everybody freaking out about. It's going to take my job. Not if you're good, and not if you're creative, and not if you can evolve stylistically and you're staying in the forefront. As you would compete against a human, you're going to compete against them. And I love the fact that Mike's been talking about all these outlier opportunities. Those outlier opportunities didn't exist. So it's not taking a job from other people. It's giving the audience opportunities. It's giving the audience more content, and it's doing it cost effectively. So the networks or the channels, the audio channel, whatever we're talking about, whatever medium we're in, they'll be willing to do it because, okay, that's not going to cost me more, and I get content, put it out there, but I'm going to hold on to the prime stuff, the best content with the best creatives. And those, I can't see that happening in my lifetime, which is going to be relatively short, is going to be, humans are always going to be in the forefront of that. I'm done. My speech is over. Creatives rest their case.
Such an advocate for the working creative. Go get them. Go get them.
All right, Lynn, it's your show.
In the on location, you spoke, Mike, about storytelling, and I thought that was awesome because Joe is constantly speaking about storytelling, and in a lot of the shows we've done over the years, everything's about storytelling, not just literally writing down a story or creating a movie or writing a script. Even the tasks that it takes to put something together, like being a camera operator or being an audio or a sound designer. How does storytelling play into this?
Well, it's all entertainment, right? So whether it's a theater show, whether it's sports, every facet of that, whether you're on the technical side, whether you're a director, we're all working to tell a story that's entertaining to an audience. Because if we're not doing that, then people aren't going to watch, and then we don't have jobs, right? And so, if you're a camera operator, you're going to maybe have a camera meeting with your director, and he says, okay, this is, you're doing, let's say, a baseball game, World Series is coming up. This is the story, this is who we want to focus on. You are in this camera position, so this is the story I want you to tell. I want you to focus on this player. If you hear the announcers talk about this, I want you to show me this. And so it's not just the mechanical motions of pointing the camera where you want and focusing it, but it's also having the knowledge of what is the story we as a group are trying to tell, and what is my part of the story to tell. And so that's important for that. It's important for audio, so we can hear what we need to hear to tell the story. Just as important it is for a director to then cut to the right camera so that we're seeing all those different pieces of the story that everyone is trying to show.
Yeah, there's something, I mean, obviously Mike knows it as well as I, there's some camera ops, if you're not live, so if you're not being called, you're not on a tally, and you're not on a tally, but you're doing something else, and you're going to try to sell the director that shot. So especially a lot of Fletcher's stuff.
Explain sell a shot. I don't.
Okay, so if you're not one of Fletcher's specialty cameras, and you keep making a move, I start here and then I swing out to here and I land here, and I do it again. But you're not on, so you can keep doing it. The director, who has every camera in front of him, is looking at it and going, "Camera 4, do that again. I'm going to take you. Stand by. I'm going to take that shot. Give me that shot." The director didn't tell him to do that. That intuitive camera operator, the creative, saw something, felt something. A common bond sharer is Frank Scacciaferro, who we all know in different degrees. Frank sells constantly. I use him on my stuff, and it's constantly. He'll be doing things, and he's taking expertise and he's taking experiences from when he works with Mike on something, and he's bringing it to something I'm on. And then I'm like, oh, well, I never even thought of it. That's a cool shot. Do it again. So AI is going to learn that, but AI is not going to instigate that. Swallow that?
Got it. Yeah, got it. Because how would one operator on a tennis match operating 4 cameras, how would one of those AI cameras know to sell the shot? They wouldn't.
Well, they don't. And that's why we have the one operator. So he can take manual control and he can sell something that's creative while the other cameras are doing their automated thing. So there still is a human element to that. And that's what really uplifts everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that the use of this AI stuff is giving that one camera op inventory, really cool inventory to pick from and to try and sell shots. Now, how does this play into the streaming business? Does the shots that don't get sold, is that stuff you can, not pawn off, but you can put on other platforms and populate them with quality stuff?
Yeah, sure. I mean, highlights, that's a big thing. So maybe something that didn't go to air in the moment, but someone hit an amazing shot or something like that, it's getting recorded somewhere, and then that maybe that ends up on SportsCenter if it was something particularly cool. Or even so, when we do the big tennis events, we're what's called the world feed. So it's not just about, when we're doing the US Open in New York, it's not just about what's happening on ESPN. Any broadcaster in the world that has the rights to broadcast in their country is taking our world feed, and there may be, on one of the smaller courts that we're covering with our automated system and one operator, there might be a player from their country playing, and then they really want that feed, and they're going to take, ISOs of all 4 of those cameras so they can do whatever they want creatively with it.
So prior to this, those people from XYZ little country in the middle of nowhere would never get to see their hometown celebrity play.
Yeah, so it would either be, no coverage at all, or maybe just a single camera that's locked off, and it's not very interesting. It's not very dynamic. It was just the bare minimum without having to have people, operating every single camera.
Before we take off, Lou, I want to do it. I'm sorry. I want to make sure I have time to do a deep dive with Mike. Mike, in the coding world now. So let's pull back the curtain of the AI terms. How is AI being written? How is AI being coded? I know you have a wizard over at Fletcher who you work very intimately with. What does that look like?
I'll try and describe it the best I can as the person who does not do the coding, but as best I understand it, most of what we're doing is relying on an open source set of code that we refine. What we use it's called YOLO.
Okay.
You only look once is an open source library for object recognition AI type of a thing. And we then train specific models for the tasks that we want to do within that. For tennis, we're training it to recognize, the person, the tennis racket, the ball, and then we know, okay, if certain elements are together, if you're a person, you're holding a tennis racket, you're a tennis player. Now we know this. And the way that happens is just through manual annotation. You'll look through a certain amount of images, and you have to manually draw a box around it and label it as which object it is. And then once you've done a certain amount of that, then you can run it through its training program and see what the result is to see how well it learned, and then see how much more you have to teach it, basically.
You just hit it. That's what I was looking for. How does it target? How does it know? And, I was thinking when earlier you mentioned facial recognition in a general sense, but I was thinking, facial recognition. If they incorporated that patch, that model into what they're doing, and then using that part of it as one of their blocks within their software. And then you nailed it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So object recognition is the main one we use right now, but there's other ones we're starting to incorporate as well. Pose estimation, where it kind of draws the skeleton around so you can tell the pose of the person. That's one we're starting to get into. Real ID, which I mentioned earlier, where it'll look at multiple targets and assign them numbers and differentiate between them. That's another one we use. So it's all those different tools.
I see the complexity here. Golf, it's pretty straightforward. Tennis, okay. Football, God bless you. That's a lot of targets.
With those helmets, it's like good luck.
Yeah.
So if you were trying to do something with football, I think you'd have to take a different approach. You'd either have to have some way of seeing their numbers, but the other thing about football is they're wearing chips in the pads anyways.
Right.
So
exactly.
you could cheat a little bit, if you could get access to that technology, then you know where they are and what they're doing at all times. That's how they get all that data.
Yeah, exactly. Lou, you got some insights there.
It's crazy. I'm just saying, I can't wait for AI to catch up to curling. There it goes. There goes the stone. There it is. Guys, we could go on, and maybe we can have Mike back to talk about some more stuff. But that's pretty much it for our show today in terms of time constraints. Mike, thank you so much. I mean, it's been incredibly insightful, and it's really just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's so much more that we can dive into, and I hope to do that in the future. Joe, any closing thoughts?
No, I was trying to figure out how I can invite Mike to hang out. We're going to do an AI show with somebody from the heavy hitter from the music industry who is a tech head and is incorporating AI. And I'll let you know how this turns out, because what he's using it for is insane. He's all about scales, musical scales, and the combinations of, and how many combinations, and how can you pull this all out? So he went after AI as a source to give me all these combinations And I mean, we're talking thousands of possibilities. And he's found a way to incorporate that in. And Steve DeFuria, one of my writing partners that we've done books together, will come on and it's going to do the same thing. But you'll find it fascinating from your alter ego, the music, Mike.
Yeah, sounds really cool.
All right, bro.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I hope the audience enjoyed this as much as I have. Look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Have a great one, guys.
Hello.
Thanks, Luke.